Hello everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for checking out the first video lesson. I hope it was useful, I hope it was informative. We're now going to look at a practice session. So I'm just going to talk through what we're about to practice. I'll then set a timer here and I will sort of bring my volume down so I'm not distracting you. But it just means that we can follow along and I'll just chime in with various things along the way. So in lesson 1, we looked at the C major scale. So we're learning it on right hand, then left hand, then both hands together. So let's start by practicing for 5 minutes. There we go. Ta-da. The right hand. So just a refresher. That was... So we're going to do 5 minutes worth of practice. At your own pace, remember, you want to start slowly. Make sure it's nice and confident and robust before speeding up. Also, when you get to that tricky transition point, just figure it out and then carry on. So the 5 minutes is for us to figure out how that works, how it feels comfortably up and down. So, 5 minutes on the clock. Let's go. When you get to that transition point, just figure out what comes next and then carry on. Well done. If you're finding this tricky, just slow it down a little bit more. Halfway there, keep going. If you feel like you're getting a bit more confident with it, you can increase the speed slightly. But if you push it too far, just remember to pull it back. Final minute. And stop. That's the 5 minutes. Shake out that hand. Oof. Okay, some things that I noticed that maybe you will as well is not used to that movement, so a little bit fatigued. But also, I got very excited when I felt like it was going well and sped up a bit too fast, and then it became a bit sloppy and confused, and maybe I missed notes, maybe I missed fingerings. And so, if we get to that point where we've pushed it a bit too far, just take the tempo back down. Take the speed back down and just make sure you are really working the accuracy so that when we do improve the speed, the accuracy is still there rather than pushing it and it goes wrong. So we're going to do the same now, you guessed it, with the other hand. We're going to go back to 5 minutes. And remember, as a quick refresher, we're starting with our pinky on the left hand, going up to the thumb and then crossing over the middle finger. And on the way back down, once we get to the middle finger, we're crossing the thumb underneath. Ready? 5 minutes on the clock. C major scale up and down with the left hand. This is most likely your non-dominant hand, so make sure you take it nice and slow and figure out those transition points. Almost halfway, keep going. If you're getting stuck at those transition points, just slow it right down and just concentrate on what comes next. One minute remaining. We're really nearly there. Keep going. Five, four, three, two, one. Stop. Shake out that hand. Oof. How was that? Do you notice the difference between your right and your left? I did. Definitely not as much dexterity here, so it just means a little bit more concentration, a little bit more effort. That felt longer as well. Still 5 minutes, as you could see, but yeah, we keep going. So now let's move on to another 5 minutes, but this time, you guessed it, we're going to combine both hands. Now this might feel a lot trickier because we have, rather than just putting our sole attention into the one hand, we're having to split our mind and pay attention to when the transition points come, and they come at different points for both hands. So I'll just play it once through real quick so you can see what we're doing, and if this eludes you, you can always go back to the actual lesson and watch that again, or skim through it and find the right section. But for now, let's just play through. So we're going to try and do it both hands at the same time, but if you do get stuck, you can just come back to the one hand, refresh your mind on what that is, and then put the other hand with it, and then see if you can carry on. And if not, we just come back. You can separate and isolate and move between the two, but we're trying to figure out this transition point, that transition point. 1, 2, 3, something happens. And yeah, okay. We got this. 5 minutes. Let's see if we can do both hands. Remember, take this nice and slow. Off we go. If you get stuck at one of the transition points, just pause, hover above it, and just figure out where your fingers need to go next. If it's still proving tricky, just slow it down a little bit more. There's no rush. Concentrate on your fingers and that transition point between left and right hand. Over halfway. Keep going. $20 seconds left. And we're done. Amazing. How was that? I noticed a few times with my practice that I'd speed up a bit too much and my hands would go out of sync because my right hand, my dominant hand is better, that my left hand was slightly lagged behind. So whenever that happened, I just slowed down a little bit so they could both be at the same speed, the same notes at the same time, and then gradually increased once I was comfortable. So if they start to get out of sync, take it back a bit. The other thing I noticed as well, occasionally my fingers got a little bit muddled and I would end, say, the scale on the way down with my pinky on the D here rather than on the C. So I would just go, now, fine, but if you find yourself just stopping short with the wrong fingers and you just go, I'll just cheat my finger down, that's fine. You're only cheating yourself. So even though I was tempted to be like, that's a win, that's still a win. Actually just going back to the top of that and just figuring out why I was getting confused. Oh, there we go. Because I switched too early there. I switched on the second finger rather than the third finger. So when you find yourself making a mistake like that, just especially if it's consistently, just stopping and trying to understand what it may be you're doing that is enabling that and how would you correct it. So in this case, I was just switching too early. I was switching on this finger rather than this finger. Yay. Fantastic. So we've done 5 minutes on the right hand, 5 minutes on the left hand, 5 minutes of them both together. How do you feel? How do your wrists and your forearms feel? Ooh, tired. Not used to it. Hey, let's carry on. So in lesson number 1 as well, we also looked at what went into a major chord. So a quick refresher. For C major, it was C, E, and G. We also figured out that we could refer to this as the first, the third, and the fifth. We also, in the last lesson, figured out F major, which is comprised of F, A, and C, with the F in the root. This is also the first, the third, and the fifth of the F major scale. If that's confusing, go back to the lesson and try and digest and understand what that is. But we are just going from here to here. So let's spend 3 minutes just switching between C major and F major. And you might want to vary it as well. You might want to put the root down an octave. You might also want to put the C major chord up the octave and the F major chord up the octave. So within this 3 minutes, we're just getting used to moving between C major and F major. And rather than using our index finger to go between like this, we can use our entire hand. So we can do the C with the pinky and maybe the F with the thumb. So at least with our left hand, we can choose to stay in the same area even though our right hand is moving between the two. And if you want to play with rhythm during this as well, because it's 3 minutes of just switching back and forth, but if that feels comfortable and easy to you, maybe you want to try doing something like totally optional. If you just want to spend time getting to grips with moving between C major and F major very simply, that is great. 3 minutes on the clock. Off we go. Halfway there. 30 seconds left. And stop. Well done. 3 minutes of some chord playing. How was that? I had quite a lot of fun playing around there. So we had obviously C major with the root in the left hand, and then F major. Maybe you just stuck very closely to this. If we're playing through this again, or if you're doing a practice session another day following this video, maybe you want to get adventurous and keep going up the octave, just so it feels less intimidating, this big keyboard we have in front of us. As we learned in the first lesson, it's just a repeating sequence, isn't it, of notes. And so C major here, C major here, C major here, C major here, and same down here. So even that, I think, is very useful to go, oh, I understand that this is a C, and then this is a C major chord, and that exists on multiple places on the keyboard. And very simply, I can just move between. And the same for the F major. So C major and F major, C major and F major, C major, F major. And maybe you start to put some rhythm with it as well. It's quite nice. C, F, C, and F, just up the octave. C. So we're playing 2 chords, and already it feels like we've got the beginnings of a song there. So that's really, really great. Well done, everyone. We're going to leave it there for now. You can replay this video if you want some more practice time. So remember, we have got the right hand scale, the left hand scale, both of them together, and then we're just practicing going between C and F. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can play this as many times as you want, to practice for as long as you want, or get yourself your own timer and just set a time arbitrarily and just stick with it. Thanks very much everyone for practicing along. You can replay this video as many times as you wish to get some practice in. I'd say maybe to aim for 2 sessions a week at least. If you can do more, if you can practice every day, that's incredible, amazing. But we're looking for consistency here, to rewire our brain to learn a new skill, but also our muscles as well, the dexterity. It takes a while. And so if we just do it once and then wait for the next lesson, we're not giving ourselves a lot of time to practice and embed what we're learning before we're taking on new information to then practice that. So I'd say aim for 2 to 3 sessions a week, and you can do them unassisted, or if you would like to replay this video just to have it on in the background so you know you've got some consistency, then I encourage you to do that. And I shall see you for the next lesson. Happy practicing. See you then.